Okay, so great web apps, not modern web apps. So let's start with a quick story. The Financial Times started with the Apple Marketplace and then decided to move to the web. They launched in June. After quite quickly they got to over 1 million unique users. The metrics went up to the roof, drove all the business metric ups, and eventually they just bought the startup that did their web app. This startup got lots of successful, and we see today more and more startups that are going in that route in terms of making the web app available on all platforms. So let's see and try to define what are we talking about when we are trying to identify what is a great web app. So basically, in one definition, hopefully it's not the only one, but it's the power of HTML5 with desktop experience. That's giving us those great web apps. Here is one example of SpringPad, which is very simple. You don't see all the redundant links that you used to see on sites today, like contact us and login and about us and things like that. Very intuitive, and when you don't have any node, they're letting you know what is the action item. That's one of my favorites. It's called GoG, and you can see immediately that it's about recipe, and it's really very intuitive to work with. If you need the recipe, it will highlight, it will show it here, and in the end of the day, they're doing a really great job in terms of the user experience. Another one, you might think it's Keynote, but it's a small startup in the Bay Area that's called 280 North, that not all about them, but this is a web app. So all the things that you could expect from Keynote are happening here in the browser, and very powerful, and at the end of the day, it's giving you a tool to make presentation that it's very similar to what you expect to do in Keynote or any other presentation tool. The link is here. And by the way, I'll share all the links afterwards. This is another very, very good example to a great web app, the Kindle. It will let you read your books on the flight when you're offline, of course, or you have flaky connections, and it does all the communication with the server side behind the scenes. So you as a user get a really responsive, smooth experience. Let's try to put all the things together. These are some of the things that we found that define great web apps. Certainly there could be others. One is it's self-contained, it's functional, it's immersive, interactive, it works offline by definition, and usually that's one of the failing points, so you need to design it from the beginning to work offline. Device aware, so on different devices it will work differently. Style navigation, and client side, of course, with all the good MVC frameworks that we have today. One main thing that I want to point out that Amazon did it very bravely, they just decided the set of browsers that they're going to support. So if you are on IE, it's not for you. Another very important metric is to check the mail and the browser that you're using. Both of them should be quite fresh, hopefully less than a few months. And basically boil down to the amount of development effort that you need to invest in order to support all the browsers. This is the mess that you have, and usually MVC frameworks coming to open this mess and help you do things a bit better. Best practices. So some of the things that we learn over time is that you want to make it as easy as possible to users to try it, and only later on try them to log in or give you some information. One of the things that are out there is, of course, Facebook Connect, OpenID, and Google got the identity toolkit that lets you log in with Yahoo, AOL, Microsoft, any email that you have today. This is the device aware factor. It's really simple set of codes that you could hack later, but this resolution is for tablet. And if I'll move and shift the screen, it will know and identify exactly where I'm standing. Deep linking and single page navigation. I heard some people that spoke with me about it 2 years ago. So this is the way to do it. Very simple history API that we could track where the user is standing, and then give them permanent link and make sure that we are doing the right thing. There's a nice library here that does most of the legwork for you. Make it work offline. So of course we have the app cache in HTML5 that lets you save locally files and make sure that they will work. And IndexedDB going to be the standard of client-side database, and you have a full file system in your hands. Local storage is the most known client-side way to save things today, because all the major browsers are supporting it. I won't go through those quick demos because I don't have time, but Launcher is a very nice opportunity to do it.